Today I'm going to share with you some of the tips that you can use in your application. The reason why I'm going to talk about this topic is that a lot of you have asked me so many times to do a video on this, and I'm here going to share with you out of my experience, out of the students I've engaged, out of the people I've worked with, and also at Impact Global, we've helped so many students. So it is out of experience that I'm going to share with you these particular tips. Today, I'm going to talk about the tips on how to prepare to apply for PhD. I know a lot of my students, a lot of my friends have done already masters back at home, and they're stuck into, should I do another masters for study abroad, or should I progress further to do PhD? So with this, in mind, I just want to share some of the tips that I've used. I want to share some of the tips that, again, my friends have used, and some of the tips that have worked for people, so that you can be well prepared. Okay? Tip number one, that's very, very common. You have to research your field. PhD is not just something you wake up and you want to do it. I've seen a lot of people reaching out to our company, that is Impact Global, because we help students in application, we help students in doing their, reviews and all that, and they want us to help them do their PhD application. While we don't have time right now, a lot of universities are closing for fall application. Maybe if it's for spring or winter, then we can work around it. But again, I've talked about the phases of, when is the best time to apply. So if you are considering doing PhD, these are the things. One, research on the field. Know very well what you want to study. Know what you want to contribute in that field. Look at the missing gaps. How are you going to fill it? How is your study going to fill that gap? Again, you have to be very keen in terms of when you're doing the research in terms of the field. You'll want to know the professors you're going to work with. What are they doing? What have they done so far? And when you're doing your application, you also reach out to those institutions and you let them know, I'm interested in doing my PhD because this and this and this, these are the gaps I'm going to fill in, and this is the professor I want to work with. So even in your application, it's always good to mention the name of the professor you're going to work with, because they'll want you to mention that and what exactly you want to work with that particular professor. So PhD is not just waking up and doing the application. That's number one. Tip number two, most of the PhD application, from my experience, require you to do graduate records examination, GRE. I did not do GRE, and I said any university that will require me to do GRE, I will not make application for my own personal reason. I don't understand why at this level you still have to pay 200 plus for you to do an exam that, I have my own reservations about GRE. So I looked for universities that did not require me to do GRE. Now, what am I trying to share? I'm trying to share that if you have to do GRE, you have to prepare in good time. But you can also apply to universities that do not require you to do GRE. And that's what I did. And that's what most students are doing. Number three, check on your updated transcripts. Some university require you during your application to upload your official transcripts. So just make sure you gather all your official transcripts and share with them directly. That's very straightforward. Number four, your letters of recommendation. Remember, you're going for a PhD program. I recommend that you reach out to your professors, the ones you've worked with at the master's level, at the bachelor's, and also to remind you, here in the US, you can come from the bachelor's, having done bachelor's, direct to PhD. You don't have to do masters. You can skip the masters and just go straight into PhD. So again, share with them, your professors, what you've done and all that. So that's the letter of recommendation. Number five is your statement of purpose. Your statement of purpose will be a little bit different from what you're using for your application for master's level. At the statement of purpose, you'll have to identify the problem, the topic you're going to study. When you're doing a PhD application, actually, you always have to have a topic. You can always change that topic as time go by, but when you're making your application, have a topic in mind, and that's what you're going to argue out in your personal statement, why you want to study that particular topic. The professors you're going to work with, mention them, why that university, some publications from that university, and specifically the professors you want to work with. And I always advise you have at least 3 professors you've identified, either the key person and the people you can work, so that if that professor is busy, then they can send your application to, because again, professor has to identify that they want to work with you for you to get admitted. So there's so many, policies and all that. So again, make your statement of purpose as strong as possible. Don't just wake up and you're like, I'm gonna do it. It's always even good. Some universities recommend that you reach out to professors before, some don't recommend. So again, check on the policies that the university has in place, okay? Have this at the back of your mind. Your curriculum vitae, like your CV, your resume, should have a lot, and I encourage students, have publications, have articles, have research work, because your PhD is a lot of research. It's a lot of research. Please share those when you're doing your resume. Emphasize on those research work you've done, so that it shows them that you have research skills, because that's one thing they're looking at. Your work experience, your leadership experience, and all that. So your resume should be as strong and should expose your talent in research. Then you also have research proposal. Most of those, actually all the university I applied to for PhD requested for research proposal. So this is just some say 12 page, some say 25 page, some say whatever pages, that already has the topic, has research question, has you have to tell them your topic, your research questions, the tools you're going to use, how that research is going to help the community, justification and all that. So again, before you just wake up, you want to do PhD, some programs require you to upload research proposal. Again, it could be different, some may not require you, but all the universities applied to required me to have a research proposal, which is not an easy work to do. You have to make it as good as possible. Then work experience, I highlight your work experience, highlight why that work experience is relevant to what you're going to study, and how best you're going to make, like, why this program is going to make you a better person and also make you impact more in the society. Network and network and network. That's number 9. Network as much as you can, so that by the time you're applying, you already have, go into those online forums, get to know the department, reach out to them before, even 6 months before you apply, so that they get to know you, they get to interact. I've seen how network has worked so well with some of the students, and they've gotten really good scholarship, very good PhD. One thing I have to let you know, PhD programs here in the US are fully sponsored. They are fully sponsored. You don't need to pay nothing. They're fully sponsored. So if you can do your groundwork well, you'll go far. Number 10, check on the deadlines. Very important. Deadlines. Very, very important. Check on them, and I cannot emphasize further on that. If you miss your deadline, that's as good as you did a zero work. So check on your deadline, have an Excel sheet that highlights the deadline, all those requirement letters of recommendation, blah, 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 all those things, have them on Excel sheet and just track them there. It's good to also have aspect of financial aid and scholarship if your university is not providing full scholarship. I've seen PhD students who get really good scholarship but not enough to survive. So look out for financial aid, look out for scholarships, look out for that will help you survive. As a PhD student, you have needs, you have responsibility. Some university, as the 12th tip, requires you to do interviews. So if you get to that particular that requires you to do interviews before they admit you, again, prepare well. Have time with your professors, have time with your friends, just to help you prepare as much as possible. So there are some of the few tips that if you package it so well, it will take you far. If you're meeting me for the very first time, again, my name is Sheila Van de Graaf. I'm always excited to share such opportunity. I've just graduated with my second master's here at the University of Denver, here in the US, and I'm here, and our team are here to impact and to share more knowledge. So please subscribe, let me know where you're watching me from, and I'm always very, very excited to share these opportunities. You see the excitement in my face. I wish you the very best of luck. Bye.